Hey folks, Randy here doing cut and trim. So, finally gonna test it out for myself. Nick over at Dawson Manufacturing, folks that make the Mulchmate, he has a Milwaukee string trimmer. And I told him I was thinking about buying one, and he offered to let me try his out, see how I liked it. So, we're gonna put this thing through its paces. I've got a neighborhood right here. I got 3 properties that are more or less right next to each other, and so they're all pretty well maintained. 2 of them are weekly and the other one is bi-weekly. And there's a decent amount of edging that I'm going to be doing with it. So I'm going to put it through its paces, see if I think it's good for commercial use. And, we'll see. I really wish Milwaukee would have just sent me one like all those other guys, but didn't quite work out. So we're going to get the real scoop here, guys. So we're going to service this property, that property right there, and then this property right here. So usually takes me about an hour to do all 3, so we'll see how it goes. Really curious to see how this works out. I'm not gonna like do footage of it or anything like that. I'm not really set up for it right now, so I'll just have to report back to you. And here's the machine that we'll be putting to work. So let's stop talking about it, let's do it. So I was gonna record more on that day, but that Milwaukee trimmer got me really conflicted, and so I needed some time to kind of process my feelings about it. And I actually ended up taking it out another day so I could use it again. So I did a total of 6 lawns with the trimmer, and so I just want to preface that I was using a 4 amp hour battery when I used the trimmer. My understanding is the size of the battery can affect the power of the trimmer, so I'm just throwing that out there. So I wanted to talk about what I liked. First, the first thing that I liked was the weight balance. I have a pretty bad tennis elbow in my right arm, really bad, and so with that Milwaukee, the weight's actually fairly well balanced when the battery's in it, but there's more weight on the head side, so there was more weight actually being held by my left arm, which for me was great because it took some of the stress off my right arm. So I liked the weight balance, but I also liked the lack of weight. It's very light. So I really like those 2 things. I liked that I didn't have to put gas in it. That's what I liked. The things I didn't like, but this is kind of normal, I think, for any trimmer, is there was still a lot of vibration on the right-hand side. By the time the first time I used it was on 3 properties that are basically next to each other, and by the time I was done trimming those properties, my elbow was sore, just from all the vibration. But you know, what you gonna do? The other thing that I didn't like, but this is just the nature of the beast, I felt like the battery drained pretty quick. Those three properties that I did, put it on 1 light left on the meter, and it was blinking. So it, 4 amp hours doesn't get you very far. Yeah, and then I guess that comes to the big issue that I had with it, and that is that it's very, 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 very underpowered. Somebody commented on a video of mine not too long ago that when I service a property, I'm servicing the property like it's about to rain, like I'm just going as fast as I can, which is true. With a Milwaukee 18-volt I'm not talking about the quick lock, I'm talking about just the trimmer. You can't go fast. You have to take your time. With my steel trimmer, I can basically trim at a jog. But with the Milwaukee, you got to take your time because it just doesn't have as much power. So you had to kind of take your time, which was fine, fine-ish for days where there's not that many lawns. But it felt like it had the power. I was trying to think of what it reminded me of. Like I was trying to think of what was comparable, because what I was hoping was that I would find it comparable to like the Echo SRM 225. That's really what I was hoping for. Um, but it wasn't. It reminded me more of if you've ever used the Ryobi two-stroke trimmer at Home Depot, or even the Toro one. They're basically the same machine with different shrouds. Um, it reminded me more of that. Edging was not good. It was very slow. Um, and it's just, I don't know. For maybe the 4 amp hour, if I had a bigger battery, maybe that would have made a big difference. I don't know. But just using it with a 4 amp hour battery, not ready for battery operated stuff, or battery operated stuff's not ready for commercial, in my opinion. It's a little weird to me that I saw a bunch of videos when this thing came out saying like it was great for commercial, but man, you got to be moving really slow to use it in a commercial setting. I just don't understand how you could. I just don't know how you could do that. Again, I want to stress, I'm not talking about the quick lock. I'm talking about just the trimmer that came out, a couple years ago. Um, so, yeah, I mean, the edging, if you already have a well-established edge, it'll edge just fine. But if you're trying to establish an edge, it's not going to happen. It's just there's not enough power there. So I really, really wanted to like it. Like I really did. Nick was willing to sell me his because he wants to get a quick lock. But it's just not there yet. Now, hopefully, even though I didn't buy it from him, hopefully Nick will still buy a quick lock and then I can try his out. But it just wasn't quite right for me. The one pro of it about it is you can kind of get around the noise ordinance a little bit because it is unbelievably quiet. That was actually pretty trippy. I'm used to being able to. I wear hearing protection, obviously, but like I'm used to still being able to hear the engine, and so you can kind of gauge how things are going. Like you can hear if it's bogging down or whatever, and you can't hear anything when you have hearing protection in. So it's really weird using a trimmer that you can't hear. So to me, for homeowner use, it's great. Definitely get it. There's no reason not to get it. It works great. But for commercial use, this ain't there. But like I said, maybe a quick lock is. I'm hearing nice things about quick lock, but the problem is the people that are saying nice things about quick lock were also saying nice things about the original trimmer. I don't know about that, man. It makes me question what the validity of the stuff they say, because I do this commercially and there's just no way this wouldn't work. So it kind of gives me pause that people were saying it would work when I can tell you it definitely won't. So, but whatever. It's also 18 volt. Like now I'm curious to see how like Echo stuff works. It's like 56 volt. I really, really, really would like to try Steel's battery operated stuff, but man, it is so expensive. I think like they have the combi, but you have to wear the backpack, and like the combi is $350, which is fine. That's like basically what a combi power head costs. But the battery backpack I think starts at $700. I can't do that. And actually, having to put a backpack on would kill my efficiency, because it's just one more thing you gotta do. So at this point, it's a no-go for me. It's a real bummer. I really, really wanted to use it, but what you gonna do? So it's Randy with Dual Cut and Trim. Hope this was helpful to you. Have a good one.